Hey guys, tonight's episode is brought to you by AP Prep. That is AP Prep in Chillicothe, Ohio. One of our good old buddies, Jason Prater, started this business a long time ago, man, and they earn every day at AP Prep. So if you're sitting around, maybe carrying a few extra pounds, much like myself and, being a chubby bartender, and you want to get your fat ass to work, get over there, get a hold of Jason Prater at AP Prep. Or maybe you're a young athlete that wants to be your best you. Earn the day at AP Prep. This episode is also brought to you by Gillum Insurance, specializing in life, farm, auto, home, and commercial insurance. Give them a call at 740-395-0357 for a quote today. If you want to get treated right, save a little money, and make sure your stuff is covered properly, Gillum Insurance is Chubby Bartender endorsed. The Chubby Bartenders is also brought to you by Geiger Brothers. Bringing value to the construction process is our main priority, the cornerstone of our reputation and the mission of our business. A company-wide philosophy focused on collaboration and teamwork, delivering excellence to our clients' projects. With over 110 years of continuous service to Southern Ohio, Geiger Brothers embraces the challenges presented to us, and while steadfastly maintaining the core values that set us apart, commitment, knowledge, and innovation. Whether your project requires a design build or construction management delivery method, or simply requires Geiger Brothers to self-perform process piping, specialized code welding, heavy rigging, civil and structural work, or mechanical services, do not hesitate to call them at 740-286-0800. Geiger Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. Great guys. Chubby Bartender endorsed. This episode is brought to you by your locally owned and operated McDonald's restaurants. They have been proudly serving Jackson and the surrounding area for over 40 years. Thank you to all of the communities that have supported us throughout the years. We truly appreciate your business. Get in there and try one of those apple fritters, man, and the other baked goods. The man's got it going on. And
there it is, Geoff Matthews.
Geoff Matthews, the man, the myth, the legend.
My God, I've looked forward to this.
What
is that?
What's going on,
Good
brother?
to see you, man.
Hey, now I can chill out and I can shoot the breeze. What's up?
Well,
I've been running around like an idiot.
Listen, it's been 6 years since we've done it, so I think it's a good time to do it.
I'm sorry, my life was so crazy and chaotic there. Whenever
how long ago was that golf outing?
Well, long enough your memory's gotten bad on it, I can tell you that.
Well, no, I think Pudge and I won that.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, we were.
Listen,
I think we might have been the strongest.
Jeff, you might turn number 3 down just to
I think
Jeff, actually, he's loud.
We might have been the strongest.
Well, no, you're one of those guests that talks.
Are you sure we weren't
Are
you sure we weren't the strongest players there?
Unless you guys were the only ones playing with a handicap, I'm quite certain that.
Well, I think the handicap might have helped us a little bit. I mean,
your handicap was your golf swing, is what it was.
That always has been.
I remember getting drunk at the hotel bar.
I think almost all of them did.
I think we all did.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember I lost $150 in 18 minutes.
Yeah, me too.
At the Riverboat Casino.
Are you the one that left with me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We sat down with Shane, and then literally less than 20 minutes, we were down like $200.
18 minutes,
and we're like, all right, man.
Hey, listen, they don't turn those lights on them, but their own money. I can tell you that.
Yeah, heck no.
We that was the first time at that Wheeling Casino that my drink was introduced to me with a new name, right? Because I always drank Captain and Diet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that what do I want to call her? Nice young lady that was handing those drinks out. She said, "Oh yeah, Skinny Pirate."
Oh.
I was like, that makes perfect sense. So I went around to Cincinnati.
Wow, I really like that.
I went around Cincinnati for the next 5 years calling a Skinny Pirate, and I had 2 bartenders knew what I was asking for before I had to tell them what it was.
Well, but that's even better.
It's a Captain and Diet Coke.
Captain and Diet Coke, a Skinny Pirate.
A Skinny Pirate.
I knew that just from you. Yeah, I knew that from you.
Have you ever heard of that, Jeff? Okay.
We've got Jeff James with us behind the scenes tonight.
Jeff James. Is his mic live?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
There we go, buddy.
He's filling in for our boy Tyler. Tyler's quarantined still.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just figured we just needed extra help to try to corral me in.
Well, when Geoff Matthews shows up, we've got to have an extra guy on hand. Yeah.
Well, we know from Ogle Bay the two of you can't handle me, so we're good.
You know what, man? That's probably true.
I
mean, are you just gonna walk on in here and put our pride in your pocket in the in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the show?
I golfed with Tommy McNerlin this morning, and he was part of that.
Yeah. How is Noodle, man? I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
He's doing great. He's about to be chief of police at the plant.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
I can't remember what day. I think he said Monday. Maybe I'm not.
Well, I'd say he's gonna have a good Christmas then, man. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's doing great.
I haven't seen Noodle, man. I'd like to see him.
He looks the same as he did probably 15 years ago. He got his belly that he swings his golf club around. And gets her done.
Gee, man, this guy suffers no fools and takes no prisoners.
Listen, I know if he was on here, he'd do the same to me.
Yeah.
So.
What'd you bring us?
So I got some Bookers here, man.
Yeah,
Bookers.
We got Bookers, which we know is excellent, and then we've also got an offering here from the Sazerac Club there with Buffalo Trace and all that stuff. Big House. Never tried it before in my life.
So Chad and I were talking. Maybe we'd start with Big House. We know this is delicious.
We know that's delicious.
And just to call this out. So I work with law enforcement. I'm not law enforcement, but they do the hard jobs every day. I sell into them software and body cameras, taser weapons, that kind of stuff. Best job I've ever had. First job I've ever had a passion for. Like it's just a lot of fun. We can dig into that however you want. But
we'll hear all about that.
Roanoke, Virginia, the lieutenant there that I worked with on their deploying their program, I made a sale to him, and it was a sizable deal.
Yeah.
And I'm paid on that, right? I'm salesman.
Yeah, you're salesman.
Yeah.
He up and sends me a whatever $100 bottle of bourbon in the wood case, which is on my bar at the house. And I said, hey man, I get paid to do this, right? Like you don't have to send me a gift. I'll send you something.
Yeah, you probably should have been sending him a bottle, man.
But that's just I turned around. But that's just the kind of people that I get to work with all the time. Salt of the earth type stuff, and
that's awesome.
It's been.
That's always a good position as a sales guy. Whenever you sell something to them and they thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's I'll tell you that's.
And something that's good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have you had New Riff? They're bottling it in Bellevue, Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati.
Okay.
I read something about that, but I have not tried it.
So they're not. I don't think they're or they may have just started, but they haven't been selling it yet because their batches are just selling right.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
So it's right in front of that party source that's right there on the levee.
Okay.
And we did a tour with a buddy. Actually, Brad Howe and Ryan Hall were there, and.
I bet that got physical.
We might have partook in a little bit of bourbon course of the day.
I was thinking those are two guys that I got to get on the show.
Hey man.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Got to get on
here. I'm sure they jump on. In fact, we need to.
Do you have any water to go with this punch? I'd like a splash on mine. Yeah.
I let my ice melt a little bit there.
So you're good. Mine did too. I think I might be good.
I've heard you talking. You like to release the notes there.
I do. Yeah.
You're straight.
This doesn't matter of principle.
You're straight bourbon.
That's a
neat
forward
question
there
for
rocks. No,
No, let's go. We ask everybody. Are you an on the rocks guy, or are you neat? Or
definitely on the rocks.
Okay.
Generally, I got big balls.
Yeah.
So I put them in there, and that's
he's a big ball drinker. Yeah,
that's where I go with. But I do like a little bit of water. But like I said, this was already in there.
Yeah.
No, I can't let you pull this man card too deep, brother, because there was a time you was drinking Zimas and Jolly Ranchers.
First of all, I don't think I've ever drank Zima and Jolly Rancher. However,
I think you used to like them fruity ones.
Hold on, let's cheers here a little bit.
Yeah. Great to see you, my friend.
Thanks
great to see you.
Like I said, I don't know who's going to listen to this thing, but
I'll listen.
Yeah. Pudge and I'll listen to it. So we know we got there'll be three listeners. Yeah,
that's real good.
That
is real good,
especially for the price point, guys. I don't remember, but I'm thinking like low 20s.
Yeah,
a little bit cheaper than Buffalo Trace, but right around there.
This is free, so I don't know what you're.
Well, but that's we know about that.
Hold on though. Let's address your call out there.
See, that's the way Matthews is. He's like, let's go back because
I'm not going to let you slide.
That's why I said this man suffers no fools and he takes no prisoners.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
Always has been.
I didn't drink until I was 27.
I know you didn't. Yep.
So
you were the straight guy at the party.
Well,
that's twice.
And I'm not going to talk over him and interrupt him, but I do want him to make sure that he makes the same point that he made earlier in the fact that when I offered him one of our seasonal beers here, he's like, "Hey man, I never even had a drink till I was 27, so I didn't force myself to like beer back when everybody else did. So I'm still not a beer drinker.
Yeah, listen,
you know?
anybody tells me they like the first beer they had, I call them a liar to their face. Like, there might be 5 on the planet because that stuff, you know, with the old commercial bitter beer face, and that's every person. Come on, you got to force yourself to like it. And after that, I understand.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I have enough problems with my eating habits that I don't need to pad it with additional carbs.
With just empty calories.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So
You still working out?
I'm all well, my wife, I got to keep up with her, man. She's a fitness professional, 8 years younger than me and everything else.
Ask if he's still working out. Jesus, have him stand up.
I was going to say,
Are you kidding me?
Then I had a flashback when he was standing back there.
Hell, he looks like he can play football.
Yeah.
Right now.
Listen, I except for my knees, I feel like I probably could.
Yeah.
But so I didn't acquire the taste for that. So yeah, I did start with the fruity stuff, and I will.
I was
own
there.
Up, I will own up to the fact that even now, like summer day, right? People like cold beer, like when it's hot outside.
Absolutely.
So I'm generally hard liquor or red wine.
Yeah.
Well,
on a hot summer day, that's not really.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I found myself a nice little boxed Franzia chillable red.
Well,
you
this
put that-
Jeff's a connoisseur.
Box wine.
You put
box wine.
You put that stuff over ice. It's
my.
it's a mother's milk.
Well, we'll have to try it. We'll have to try it. We're always looking for a sweet nectar.
Yeah.
So here it is. It's sangria without the sugar.
You're right. Yeah.
That's
what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
Now, I'm
that
not
you're
saying,
paying attention to.
I'm not saying it's got everything, bunch of other stuff ground up into because they don't take care. But hey, $15 for a box.
Hey, let's
I'm
go.
on board.
Yeah, let's go. That's
So you're saying
he's at the same cost as of a 30 rack of Busch Light, man.
In fact, my wife bought me a
Franzia.
It almost came out there, like a satchel that I could put drop the bag down in with some ice.
Wow.
And just carry that bad boy around to the neighborhood pool and stuff.
See, this guy is so secure. In
So
his
I was going to
manhood.
say he is completely secure with his manhood.
Hey, man.
Wow.
Only
you, Matthews.
I show up with that beautiful lady, and I don't.
You
have to
don't
worry
care.
about it.
Do you?
No,
you don't
heck,
care.
it doesn't matter.
Man, it's great to see you, though, man. We have been buddies for a long time. I cannot remember me and you not being friends. That's how long I've.
Well, there's several years in there I didn't like you much.
Yeah, that's his definition.
Yeah,
Right?
that's my call. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you growed up here, and so that what you're selling. You're in Cincinnati now, right?
Yep.
I mean, you've officially been gone no longer than you were here. You've reached that point in life.
Not quite. It's pretty close, but I've been in Cincinnati now. Maybe 2004.
So did you go from UD to Cincinnati? Or?
No, so I had a friend who was moving his business from Atlanta to Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay.
And that friend actually was part of the remember Pride, right?
Yeah.
Dare role model, then Pride.
Oh, yeah.
So that stuff.
You
I was
were a Dare
involved in.
kid. I remember
buddy.
that.
Yeah.
But you know what? That stuff opened my world from Jackson County to nationwide. Like I didn't travel at all before that much. Of course, Myrtle Beach, where we all go.
I didn't go there till senior trip.
Junior trip for me.
Really?
Got stung by a damn jellyfish for 5 minutes in the ocean. I don't know what the hell that's
Yeah.
about.
I
Even
don't
the
know
fish
if I ever
wanted
got
to-
back in.
Even the fish wanted to. Zach Morris back in the day.
Tommy peed on my ankle to make it stop burning.
That's all you
I
need.
don't know what it was.
You just need a
I'm
good
just
friend
kidding.
close
I'm
to you.
just
It's got to piss, and you're fine. Yeah.
His grandma had some kind of jelly, the jellyfish thing, little packet, put it right on.
Oh, you went with the McDonald's?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Oh yeah. And kids,
They were
there at the
prepared.
same time.
And what a trip that
it was
sounds
a trip.
like.
Chris and Johnny, buddy, we
Oh,
were
boy.
tearing it up.
There you go.
What were we talking
The
about?
Center Street Mafia?
No, we were talking about
We'll get back to
Yeah, we're going to get back to
Mafia.
that. That's where I mentioned.
UD
Yeah.
Tampa.
Yeah, so Gary was moving his business down there, and it was at the time a lot of
met Gary, I
grant writing. You did at the wedding. Yeah, a lot of grant writing and event planning type stuff, and that was when Florida had that big tobacco. That was part of that big tobacco lawsuit, and they had that government money that was spreading out. So
Don't remember that.
I went down there for a year and basically just traveled around Florida helping with with those events and stuff. Somehow I ended up back in Ohio. I'm not really
State
sure.
Farm, wasn't
Well, that's what when I got back here, I got into State Farm and
it? In Hillsboro?
in Hill. Well, first I did
forgot
claims.
about that. That's
First
right.
I did claims in Hamilton to learn the business. Right. The whole goal was to go to agency. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the reason I got in the insurance business. What a prick.
I know. Yeah. Sorry about that. But I mean, obviously, it got me where I am today. But
My first phone call when I got in the insurance, or whenever I was going to get in, was do you remember that?
ask me about it. Yeah, I do. And we got life insurance policy through you now.
Yep.
As of or probably all of Jackson County now at this point.
A lot of them.
That's healthy enough.
Yeah. But my roommate in college, who happened to be named Jeffrey Michael, just like me, spelled with a G. You don't find that crap too often.
Goodness, yeah.
His dad was an executive of motorist insurance, and he's who got me in the insurance world. I interviewed with motorists and then State Farm. So anyway, so I was in Hamilton, then I bopped over to Hillsboro, and then that's when I went back to Cincinnati after that.
Okay.
I went
That
back-
was probably
I went-
2003 or 4.
in 2004, somewhere in that range. And,
How long were you in Hillsboro?
couple of years, about 2.5 years, I guess.
Well, is similar to here?
Very similar. Yeah, it's very similar. It's probably a little more spread out. Downtown's a little bit, maybe a little bit smaller, but
it's a small
nice,
town.
Yeah,
Small town living
town,
there.
nice little community.
Yeah.
I guess Cincinnati is a little bit farther away from Hillsboro than Chillicothe is, but you got your access right to Cincinnati that much easier over there. But Rocky Fork's nice.
Oh, yeah, Dad's over
Oh,
there.
yeah. And then,
So then I moved to Cincinnati. So it's not quite where I've been gone longer, but it's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, is Cincinnati?
listen.
Cincinnati, you starting to feel like, hey, man, Cincinnati, my hometown. I like it here.
No, I don't. I can't see Jeff ever seeing anywhere else other than your hometown is here.
That's what I was going to say. You can take Jackson, the boy out of Jackson. You can't take Jackson.
Yeah.
out of
Well,
Boy.
yeah.
My
I
wife-
get that. Yeah,
My wife will
absolutely.
tell me, she's like, I know when you're talking to your brother or you're talking to someone from Jackson on the phone because the I reckons and the
Oh, everybody says that. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. It's always funny. You know Michael Morgan, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's been in Michigan now.
Morgan helped me
longer
out a
than
lot
he's
when
here.
I was young.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Jesus, let's not stroke his ego.
Well, but his wife always says, man, when the guys from Jackson are around, you talk in a completely different fashion. Like we kind of start the Blackstone stuff and
yeah.
everything else
Oh, yeah.
like it, and she's just like, oh God, you're on the phone with Reynolds. I can tell.
Yeah.
You're on with Reynolds.
He called
and
me the
Nick
other
Dean
night
and-
at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he was looking
Morgan
for a
did.
friend.
Yeah.
I
Was he
went to
tying
bed on
one
him.
on?
I was laying in bed with, just kind of scrolling through my phone, and he texted me, so I texted him back. And next thing I knew, my phone drinking. I'm like, Morgan, I'm laying in bed.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even answer. I had just gotten off of a Zoom with he and Nick Dean, and I was like, boys, I'm sorry. We got basketball in the morning. I'm shutting her down.
Yep,
you know,
yep.
And he was not hearing it. And,
Yeah, he was
but
pretty
I mean,
persistent.
hey,
on
the
me.
man's. I feel for him. I mean, he's not quarantined, but he's their business. Pfizer has him at home, dude.
Yeah.
And,
Really? So they've
it's,
developed a vaccine from home?
well, apparently. I mean, I think he's just
They
selling
let
it.
the engineers. and scientists do it.
Yeah. They probably are at work, but he was at home. Heck, he did the No Shave November. Man had a beautiful beard going, and then he got some Just for Men and dyed it brown because he wanted to see.
Was it
wanted to
pretty
look-
gray? Was it pretty gray?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty gray. Yeah,
I did the mustache.
but I wasn't a fan of the dye. We were pretty hard on him about that. I thought that
Does he
was
look like maybe he was 70s?
he looked a bit like
adult film
he just
actor?
he just looked like a tryhard. Yeah. And anytime you get a chance to throw one in on that guy, you do
Gotta
it.
do it.
Yeah.
So he would have been, he would have been right there before you. Tommy Hill was right before you.
Yeah, and I think Blackstone brought me in for a couple plays that when Tommy was, but I think I threw an interception. And, but,
Tommy's still around. You see Tommy any?
Tommy
Hill.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
around. Yeah,
Yeah, he's around. He's
I
doing
haven't
good
seen
things.
him. Last time I saw him he was DJing at the pub.
Yep.
And I was home around some holiday, but that's been several years back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's doing good. He's
but-
got a nice house on South Street.
yeah.
He's
About
one of them
12
older.
kids, about 12
Yeah, he's got a shit ton of them. I don't know how many of them there is.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot.
Yeah,
he's
he
got
got a
a nice,
lot of
nice
them.
brood there.
Yeah,
Now,
big old tribe.
How's your brother Brian doing?
He's doing good. He's in Texas, West Texas. That's where my grandma's at now. I drove by the Center Street house today.
Did you?
Go over and say, it's blue.
You still
which
own that?
Seems weird. No, I sold it for that one, the house in the Heights, and then the tree farm out outside of Wellston. I sold all that stuff. I was 3 or 4 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because she was
I
moving in
remember
there
that.
full time.
I remember
Actually,
that.
no, I take that back. Mason was 1, so it's been 7 years ago now.
Oh wow.
She's with Brian.
She's with Aunt Peggy, and Brian lives about 3 miles away, so they're over there. All the
I haven't seen Brian in a while, man. but-
How is Grandma?
Grandma's good, man. She's 92.
Oh my, that's great.
The my
What a
aunt's,
sweet lady.
My aunt's a sweet lady. I don't know about all that. Like
Hey, I say that. And she used to
Listen.
give me a weekly shot.
yeah, no, she is very sweet, but she is very stern as well. So
Yeah.
but she
Shot of whiskey?
Listen, she's
Oh, yeah. I was like, I thought she was asking me.
yeah, she's someone who held down the family for
Well, she did.
I mean, 70 years on,
Yeah.
what, $18,000 a year? I don't think about that. Like,
That's impressive.
She was a nurse too.
what?
Or she's an RN.
For Dr. Griever.
Griever. Yeah. She gave me a shot every week from the time I was probably 7 to 13 or 14, maybe 12, 13. I don't know. Yeah. Nice lady, man. I remember allergy shot.
I'd come home and there'd be a shot laying on the microwave when I come in. She'd like come out from little 4'10" woman out from the woodwork, grabbing the stock, shot me in my arm.
Just for spite.
It didn't have anything in it.
Here's the B12. That's how you work. That's what your problem is. Yeah. Or not problem. That's why he walks.
That's what made him. Yeah, that's what made him so damn mean.
She was giving you kryptonite.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, interesting story. I'm sure we'll get into this later. Geoff was my tutor. Whenever I was, 8th grader? 7th and 8th grader?
Something like that.
I think the only reason that he was my tutor is because my mom was like, that's Geoff Matthews. You know?
Well, good influence,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if I remember, he wasn't any dumbass.
No, Geoff was. He was called. You don't care if I said you were called Zach Morris. You were the man. You were the blonde-haired guy.
I got that hair. What last couple of years? Last half year, junior year.
Oh, you loved it.
I had it.
You loved it. You liked the Zach Morris reference. Don't act like you didn't like a little Saved by the Bell.
Zach Morris is legit now. Don't. He's back on TV.
I don't.
They're going to come back out with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
I can't watch that movie to this day without thinking of Matthews.
It's a TV series, but you call it movie. Yeah. But it was something that the tutoring and that kind of stuff.
Who would have been your Slater?
Gosh, who would have been
Chris
Slater?
King.
Chris
No,
King.
hell, King couldn't stay healthy long enough.
Okay.
That poor guy.
Well, I always remember Slater in the Sling.
Yeah,
He
well,
was so mean.
it wouldn't be Noodle.
No.
It might be. I'd probably have to say it was Chris because, like when he was playing on the field, he's so mean as a linebacker and fullback, man.
Yeah.
In fact, Tommy McDermott's dad one time said, "Hey, when," and I don't remember if it was your dad or if it was. It probably wouldn't have been Blackstone. It probably Reynolds. He said, "Hey, when's that Reynolds going to wise up and put King in at fullback and you in at tailback?" And I said, "Well, I'm a tailback playing quarterback as it is. There's just nobody else.
You're
who was
running
ready.
the ball every three times.
That's right.
Every third play.
Joey just wasn't quite ready.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. I hate to hear that, but he wasn't quite ready at that time. And so that's just the.
What do you think was the
it.
over/under per game running like Q8 and Q9 power?
Oh shit!
Like student body left, student body right. With
We did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. I remember one time I couldn't even get around the corner. I was so damn tired. Like, isn't that funny though? I could sit here and remember just about every play on all that senior year.
One of my old man's favorite takes is, "Hey man, that ball's not heavy. Those guys can carry that. They can carry it all. It's not heavy."
You were though, man. I remember you were a quarterback, and we'll probably bounce all. It's hard to tell how we'll keep this on track because there's just so much. But you were like the very hard nosed because you had played tailback. You're under Tommy, your sophomore year, right?
No, I was still.
The cigar smoke bothering you?
Got the COVID. No, I just got a frog in my throat. I was just backup.
Okay.
Down there. So I didn't even play. In fact, in practice a few times, I don't know if you remember this or not. Actually, no, you'd been gone. Blackstone and Fennick brought me over to try out at defensive end. Ooh. And I'm like, hold on a second, guys. Line me up next to Smalley, and we did it. And I think
George.
No,
Steven.
But no, so I was just backup. So but yeah, I was hard. I mean, when I was running the ball, I wasn't shying away from contact.
He's like a fullback.
I was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, you sent him out there with a couple of guards in front of him if they could get out there in front of him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, take that too. I outweighed 2 of my linemen.
No doubt. Well, and I mean, how many safeties are going to be coming up cleaning that up?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, I don't know about that.
One of my favorite stories from high school football, and no surprise, right? Grandma's very important in my life.
Yeah.
She only watched me play once. In all my years playing football, middle school, high school, college, she only watched me one time.
Went to a game once.
One time. She came. She came from Greece. It's too violent for. She didn't want. She didn't want. She think I got
nervous.
Hurt. In fact, she didn't even like watching Brian play soccer. I don't think she did that very much. She walked down because at the time, right, it was at the middle school.
Oh yeah.
And she walked down, and remember her outfit was all white at Griever's, so the nurse's outfit was all white. She stood on the fence And I know you were on the sideline at this point, but she stood on the fence, like right near where, down from the students, like right by where the cheerleaders stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Warren Local, we're playing Warren Local.
Yeah.
I was on the right side playing corner, and they broke one down the left. And I, came from the other side of the field, cut the guy off, and just blasted him. I mean, he was running on the sideline. I blasted him out of bounds, right into the fence. And you watch the film to this day, she's standing there, white, all white, right where I hit that boy. In fact, I talked to her on the phone yesterday, and she's like, I don't know why you hit that boy so hard. Hey, I said, well, he shouldn't have been running the ball. Like that's
what you tell her. You was going to tell stories about this?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But that's one of my favorite stories because like she didn't watch it too much. But even to this day at 92, like her memory's slipping a little bit. She'll come back to that and she'll be like, I mean, you could have been a little bit nicer.
Yeah, you didn't have to hit him that hard.
She was a sweetheart, man. I remember she actually, like, I don't bother, shots don't bother me to this day because of that woman. She was just so nice about that. Like, here, Jason, here, it's,
I'm glad she did that to you. She just jammed me with that.
Yeah. She tried to toughen you up.
You make you tough. Yeah. No, man, that's great. I mean, football is a violent sport, man. She just was like, I'm not partaking in this, man. I'm out.
It was just made her too nervous.
I mean, this guy, quarterback at Jackson, goes to Dayton. Immediately they move him to linebacker.
I've always thought that was funnier now.
He was an amazing linebacker. Yeah. I mean, obviously we had no idea where to play.
No, you remember? Do you remember? So, remember in goal line, I played middle linebacker.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So I played quarterback and corner, but then in high school, middle linebacker on the goal line.
We call that Ohio or something. Yeah, you'd be right there in the middle.
But so I was going up. Rick Chamberlain came down. He's the head coach at Dayton now, and he was recruiting me, and I thought Dayton was still D3, and I was full of myself, thinking I wanted to play higher than that. Yeah. Well, found out they're 1AA non-scholarship,
right?
But they have their own admissions program, so figure that part out.
Yeah.
Went up there and fell in love with the campus, though. So that's why I ended up going up there. And the program's phenomenal. Like I still do a golf outing every year. We have a football golf outing that funds the.
Kelly was your coach, right?
Yeah, Coach Kelly.
Where is he now, man?
He's the football athletic director.
Oh, still actually, is he still at UD?
He may have just retired.
Would that be like director of football operations?
Pretty much, yeah.
But he's got to be getting up there, man.
Yeah, he still looks good.
There. He was there forever.
He was, and he had like almost a 90% winning percentage.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
the guy was over 20 years.
I was surprised, and I mean, this is probably a stupid take. I was so surprised he never took like a MAC job or something like that. I mean, he could have certainly got it, right?
My junior year, he almost left. And his reasoning was he wanted to coach men that were there to play for the love of the game. And he didn't want to deal with some of the other headaches, that you get at some of the other, and that's no fault to any of those other schools. That was just his mindset. That was his home, and he loved the program that had been built. I mean, hell, you got Chuck Noll, you got John Gruden coming down there.
I mean,
a few Super Bowl rings coming.
Well, it's great. I mean, crazy.
Let me hit that big house.
I was just sitting here thinking, like I was about to finish mine. I was like, "What? That's delicious."
I went with the second one. That's not bad. Well,
no, that's great.
Just wait. I mean,
yeah, it might make you feel horrible.
No. I mean,
he's just saying before we move into this other.
I mean, you know what though? I am kind of surprised with this for just a random pickup.
It's good.
I would probably buy that again.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to have in the bar. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. I thought the name was crazy. It's got like ball and chain.
I mean, the name could go a little bit better as an Ohio State fan, but
right.
Well, let's call it the Little House. We can knock that out.
Yeah. Well, right now, I mean, it's meaningless to us anyway, right? I mean, it just doesn't matter.
Well, now they just want to try it. The only way they can win is by not playing the game, trying to keep
and you know what, man?
I say us.
They're going to do that. That's the only way they can win is by keeping us out of the playoffs.
Well, here's my take on it. I don't think it'll matter.
It's not an us.
I don't think it'll matter. I think the Big Ten will do the right thing. They've already said they'll do the right thing and let them in the championship game. But I would see Michigan playing the game just in the hopes that they
beat us.
Because that's the only thing that saves the season for them this year.
Yeah,
and you know what? Frankly, that's what I'm more scared of that game.
I hate that. Yeah.
But so Coach Kelly, I think he could have easily done another job.
I was just always surprised because it could not have been a situation where he couldn't get the job.
I can't remember.
Did he ever even try?
He did. He interviewed a couple times, but he pulled out. Like he was the one that. At least that's the way I understand it. It was either Toledo or Kent. I can't remember which one. I feel like it was one of those that he went pretty far.
Well, I mean, I would just think that he could have got those.
He could have.
I mean,
he ran a program that.
Oh my goodness!
Like we're afraid when we see him at the golf outing. We're still straighten up. Like
no, he was kind of he was as I remember him, and it was only I met with him through my own when I was playing. I went over there and I loved that campus.
Yeah. It's a monster now. Have you been up there lately?
It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been
4
there.
times the size, 5 times the size. It's enormous.
Oh, my. Well, I mean, we had another guy on here, UD graduate, Steve Nichtine. Do you ever know him? Dr. Nichtine's son? He went there, and, he can't say enough about UD.
It's a great community. I mean, the ghetto, right? Which when I was there, like, a lot of houses that were worse off than this, but that's where all the university housing was.
Yeah.
In fact, we were partying. I wasn't drinking at the time, so
no. But you can still party.
That's right. We were partying, and it was around Christmas time. We're staying in the kitchen of one of these old places.
Yeah.
There's probably, and they're doing Mad Dog races.
Oh my God!
Right?
Mad Dog 2020.
Just seeing who could puke first.
That's right, basically. So I'm watching, getting just human entertainment by what people watching here.
Probably with their girlfriend.
I don't know what you're talking about. So we're
all the
standing
girls
there.
be like,
He has no
Jeff
memories.
doesn't
No
drink.
memories of
Jeff
that sort of
will get
thing.
us home.
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny. All of a sudden, we're doing these races, or they're doing these races, and the floor drops like 2.5 feet.
I can see that, yeah.
We go down to the basement, which was partially finished, like it was concrete, and 2 of the floor joists had broken.
Snapped.
And there were 3 people dead.
No, nobody died. No couches. Nobody
Jeff
died.
jumps off the balcony.
I held it
saves
I held
2
it up.
children.
He went down there, lifted the floor.
I lifted it back in place.
Yeah.
No, not the true story. They realized that it was just 2, and it was fine, so they continued.
Yeah, hey, let's not
That's
let this
college
interrupt
kids.
the race.
That's college kids, right?
Was there was a place there, and I don't want to get sidetracked on this, but there was a place there called Tim's Bars.
Oh, yeah.
It's still there.
Still there.
Beauty.
In fact, we went there about 3 years ago after
Yeah.
the golf. We had a big reunion weekend, and it was my the team that was honored was my junior year.
Yeah.
And that senior class was outstanding in many forms.
Yeah.
One of which being comedy.
Oh,
routine.
okay,
And
okay.
One of the guys there is a linebackers coach at Western Michigan, I think. Anyway, the outstanding people. Like
just good
we
people.
would be in, like, our sides would be cramped up, nonstop with those guys. And so we made sure, and we go back pretty much every year. This year it was canceled, of course, because a mess, which was a bummer. But so we all went to Tim's.
Do
afterwards.
they still have Milwaukee's Best Light on tap?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
That's a time-honored tradition.
Yeah.
But we were there, and we were done at the golf outing, and after the dinner and everything, probably around 7 o'clock, we went to a local restaurant, bar, place, had a couple drinks. I think we ended up at Tim's at like 10 o'clock.
Nice.
And there was like nobody there. And we were there for a couple hours, and then all of the college kids. And we're like,
it's like, well, they don't even go out till like
all of
11,
us
12
old
You're like,
people
hey,
are
man, it's
like,
about time for
it's
bed.
time for bed. You know? I'm up late right now.
I told that to somebody last night. You know what I think will happen at the end of the COVID? I think that I don't think people will. I think nights will end earlier because people
People
now
are getting conditioned to it.
Yeah, they're getting. I mean, you've been 8 months now being home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I wonder what the hell.
Governor DeWine put the smackdown.
I wonder what the hell the college kids are doing now. Seriously,
they're doing the parties in the kitchen with the floor skating.
There you go. Yeah, it hasn't stopped them. They're just not going out.
You're talking about your coach. That's something I want to talk about. We might as well get started on it now.
Yeah.
You went through a very pivotal time, and we want to have this guy on the show. We talked about it the other day.
Oh yeah.
You were one of his poster boys, is Larry Blackstone.
Oh yeah.
And
hey, so was I. Got that.
Well,
I don't know if I'm a poster boy, but
Jeff was one of the guys that he had both of you.
Oh yeah.
Because see, I'm from the Reynolds days, so I didn't, and I knew Blackstone, but I didn't know him like Reynolds. And but I mean, I would consider you. I've always thought I'm not to toot your own horn, but I mean, you've always been one of those guys.
If you're saying it, I'm not tooting.
Yeah, exactly. But you've always been a guy I looked up to. I mean, man, I've always said, there's no excuses.
You need to set your sights higher.
Well, but I've always said there's no excuses. Look at Geoff Matthews. I mean, because you've had your fair share of struggles. I mean, I can't say that you weren't loved as a kid, but I mean, because you were.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had your fair share of struggles, and I mean, now look at you. I mean, my God, I mean, and you did what everybody knew you were going to do. But there's a lot of kids I think that are maybe growing up with grandparents like you did, and they haven't really, or they may choose not to grow up. You always did.
I don't know if I've grown up yet.
Well, but you know what I'm saying. But do you think Blackstone and those guys and Reynolds, and I mean, you talked about your other coach, how you still straighten up. I still, to an extent, and I mean, I'm pretty close with Chad's dad even now.
Yeah.
And I always said,
Well, I got some stories of those practice days.
but I'm saying, I mean, there's a part of you. I mean, I think that's a good thing to straighten up when you see a coach.
Hey,
Don't
listen,
you?
Yeah. So just to start with Blackstone, part of what you alluded to there is my dad wasn't around when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't want to say it, but
Well, I think pretty much everybody in Jackson, people in Jackson know more about my life now than I do. Right?
But if you're, I told you, 30% of our listeners were from the Ukraine last month. So if you're down there growing up without a dad, tune in.
Yeah.
So my dad wasn't around. Knew who he was, but there's no relationship. I know him now. Still not real close by any stretch, but without a doubt, Larry Blackstone was a huge father figure for me. Mm-hmm. Someone I still think about. He lives 15 minutes from me, but obviously all this mess we don't.
Oh yeah.
But,
does he? That's where he's at now.
He's in Milford, because his daughter's up there. And,
okay, I didn't know that.
Grandchildren, yeah. So he's up there now. But listen, salt of the earth. I said that earlier about my customers. Like that guy, if he was here, he would tell a story about Oak Hill. Neither one of you probably heard. Well, you probably have heard it.
I don't know.
He, whether or not you know this, I had a little bit of a temper when I was a young lad.
I've tested it a couple times.
Well, we'll get into that story here in a minute.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Well, he didn't really, but we'll tell that story. Okay. So we're in Oak Hill. I'm quarterback, and this would have been freshman year, I think. It was either 8th grade or freshman. I can't recall. But we go up there, and I had just it was coming down a close game. It was coming down the wire. I had just run I don't even remember, 90-yard touchdown, 80-yard touchdown. And they called it back for something, holding, whatever, doesn't matter. So I was a little messed up about that. Well, next play I throw an interception, right? Which is happening.
Is this at home or at Oak Hill?
This is at Oak Hill.
Okay.
So from the stands, and I think it must have been 8th grade. I think it was 8th grade.
Blackstone's instant.
And from the stands, some woman starts yelling at me, something about better choices or that was horrible or messed up or something.
Well, who the hell was that woman?
I know who it was. I won't name her name. So I turned around and started talking back to her, started yelling back at her, hey, you don't, if you think you can do it better, you carry your tail right on down.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, that temper carried on into the locker room, and I was throwing helmets and hitting lockers and
shit.
I mean, I was ready to tear some crap up, right?
That
Blackstone comes in there. He's like, I mean, this guy. You might have heard him say a hell of a damn once or twice, but I don't even know.
Much.
That's right. I don't even know if you really had. I mean, so he drove me home in his
car
S10 pickup truck.
Yeah.
Why'd you get thrown out?
No, the game was over.
Oh,
so he's like, he pulled me off. He's like, you're not going on the bus. You're riding with me.
Oh, yeah.
Talked to me all the way home, straightened me out. Walked up, knocked on the door, handed me off to grandma, this and that, and when he left, it was rough. He very much like a father to me. I understood him standing his ground, not 1 year contract, all that kind of stuff that.
Yeah.
But every coaching stop he's had, I didn't go to the college he was helping that Mike Furry, his. Well, it's not his.
Limestone State. Well, he first went to Kentucky Christian.
That's right.
Then on to Limestone.
I think you guys went down to.
We did a yearly thing.
That's right.
When he was coaching college, me, Nick Teen, and Morgan, and Andrew Colby. You remember French, right?
Yeah.
We got together and would make a trip out of it every year.
Yeah.
And boy, I'll tell you, some of the most enjoyable trips I've ever had.
Listen, he's just. And it's not just me. Like when you say poster child, there's thousands of poster children for that man.
And what's funny is, you watch it and read that book. I mean, my goodness,
you know what? I haven't done that yet, and I need to do it.
You've got to, man. I mean, and it's everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, he touched everybody in a different way, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
now I know there's some popes that they rub the wrong way.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and you'll have that.
My relationship with him was unique because, of course, I stayed here and then coached with my dad, who, I mean, my God, those two played together in college. So it took them a minute to kind of bury that, but I mean they certainly have.
It's like I said, like there was stands on both sides, right? Like I feel like the school board was wrong. I feel like coach was okay with. This is my own take, right?
Yeah.
But we all still need to play football. Right.
Oh yeah,
and so that's not a fault of your dad, and I feel like that was a tough situation to step into.
It carried even into so Chad's 10 years older than me, or 9, or
God, you're old. Chad.
Oh God, yeah, man.
No, you're 8. You was 91.
1991.
I was 99.
I'm your brother's
my
age.
brother,
and then you were 95.
Yeah.
So you had you look at this 8-year period or 9. Let's call it a 10-year period. Okay, so I've grown up with guys like you and the guys from the early 90s, and then or guys like you from the early 90s, and then you were kind of like the hybrid. You guys just had Blackstone.
Yeah.
You had both.
Right.
I just had one.
Yeah.
And so like you were talking about. It's funny to talk about, and I think we can because I think we all come from a good spot now. We all understand.
Yeah, I mean,
and like, isn't it a shame that like there was kind of like animosity between the Blackstone era and the Reynolds era for no other reason that had nothing to do with anybody currently involved. Like that was more of a school board thing that created that, and like just like you said.
I think the unfortunate thing about it is a lot of it was kind of a personal vendetta.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That's right.
Yeah, it was, and so like so even as late as our bunch, I'm sure if any of the listeners that are my age guys that are listening to this, which they'll probably tune in because of you, prick. But they'll tell you, we kind of resented the fact that like people would always talk about Blackstone and stuff, like because like you guys and not that you shouldn't. Larry said we all come from a good place now, but like everybody was like, man, that back whenever he was lifting with us, and it was like, yeah, but did you see what we did? And I mean like it was like
I think
and you were a part of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that what happened is that changed the dynamic for the guys your age. Was
state playoffs.
Well, no, when he went to Wellston, I think a lot of you guys then saw it as like, well, I mean,
we got mad at him, because he was just he was coaching our #1 rivalry,
but it's the same thing.
And then you saw Jackson guys on the sidelines, and it was like, no, what?
But you think about it right from a work perspective.
Yeah,
that's the man's job.
Absolutely. Now we're all coming from a good spot. We know
that's right.
This,
so if you think about it, you're right. When you were there, right, you're living it. But if you were like something happens to your office and you got to move your office to Wellston, right?
You're
going to do it. You're going to move your office to Wellston.
I text one of my great buddies, Branch, usually today in Wellston, and I met him playing high school football.
Here's what I think is lost, and I don't know.
Basically talking high school rivals.
And I don't know Blackstone's perspective on this, but I would think it's probably aligned.
Want him on the show.
We've got to get him on here.
Listen, I'll do what I can to make that happen.
Yeah.
I asked Chad the other day. I said, "Hey,
I haven't reached out to
I
him
want to talk
yet.
to. I've never talked to an author that I know of. I mean, not like that. I mean, he's wrote his book.
Well, he'll tell us there'll be absolutely no cigars or beer.
I was going to say you'll be drinking. You probably drinking water and coffee.
Yeah, that's going to be a coffee ad. Yeah. He will not have.
I'll drink coffee
because he's not afraid to tell me on many occasions. Me and Morgan, he's very disappointed in.
You might want to do that at 11 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, like I remember Michael and I posted a picture. He had come to Jackson. We were at the stock room, and both of us were holding a beer like that. And he goes, "Hey, the guys I knew." They weren't drinking beer, But anyway, I guess what I'm getting at is like I think that the two men themselves, if you ask them, I mean, I think that
you're talking about Blackstone and your dad.
Yeah. I think that Larry probably.
I don't mean to keep blowing out your face.
I think that he probably resented maybe the board members, the administration, something like that, and I know from Dad's perspective on stuff like. I don't think they saw that as as big a deal as what a lot of other people did.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
I mean, they were always pretty good friends.
Listen, you guys I know we shy away from politics here, but just I'm going to equate it to Trump and Biden, right? The way the country is divided, it's a lot of the same thing, right? Small town football.
Oh yeah,
that's all we got.
Yeah,
so people were on one side or they were on the other, and they were unwilling to think about it for a few years. The middle, which is where the two people that were directly involved, would have probably been. And Blackstone. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I've ever asked him that, but his stance was security, right?
Oh, sure.
And so he had to do what was best for his family.
Can you blame a man?
That's right.
And I think,
but I don't. That's where I don't think he would have any. He wouldn't have any fault. Like,
no.
So.
And that's why. My dad would be the first guy to tell you, like, coaching on a 1-year contract is a pretty tough job in what we do. And he had to do it here for a long time because like that the board just kind of went to that precedent. And I'm not trying to throw people under the bus or something.
I will.
But,
I'll throw them.
But
you don't live here anymore.
But you know
we
what,
got kids in the system.
But you know what I'm saying.
Well,
I think now they've gone to extended contracts, which they absolutely should. Man, coaching is tough, and I don't think, like I said, my father, for him, it was never about Larry Blackstone.
I was there. I went through your dad, and I promise you that is the case.
And he never harbored any ill will. Actually, has a lot of respect for him. He'll still to this day tell you probably one of the best football players he's ever met in his life. They were teammates on a national championship team at Fairmont, and he was like, that guy and his brother are two of the best football players I've ever met in my life.
I tell you another story I've heard your dad tell. There was two guys, going back to all that, not to stay too local, but there was two guys that there was a transition night that you've talked about. Like Blackstone left. Blackstone left.
Oh.
Jim gets the head coaching job. Coach Reynolds gets the head coaching job. Sorry, Jim. Didn't mean to call you Jim.
He's happy with that.
I think he's all right.
He would actually prefer.
He's always Coach Reynolds to me. He's always Coach Reynolds. But so Coach Reynolds takes the job, and your dad, or you have told me this. There was two guys, and I believe I know one was for sure Zach Taylor, that came to film one night. And was he the other one?
Yep.
Yeah, there was two of you that came. Like everybody else boycotted because Blackstone wasn't going to be there.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, dude. I'll never forget it.
Hey, man, I got a job to do. I'm going to be there.
Well, but there was a lot of guys that boycotted because they were like, well, Blackstone's not that they were not there again, not anti-Coach Reynolds. He
had a thing, like when he coached here in the 80s, he would invite the starters and seniors over to watch the film on Thursday night, right before the game. And the first time he did that, you and Zach showed up, and nobody else.
I don't remember that, man. I've been hit in the head a lot of times. Though,
Well, Geoff, goddamn it. It's a precious memory to me, man.
Hey,
I'm
listen.
gonna start crying. Yeah, whatever, dude. Hey, no, but things caught on. I mean, it was a tumultuous period, and I think everybody involved understood the situation, and it was a tough year.
By the time we got there, we didn't let it really deter us. Like,
it was a tough year. I mean, it was a transition year, and I mean, Blackstone knew before he left. That's why he wanted a 2-year contract. I mean, it was going to be a tough year. I mean, we had young guys that had to come of age and
what were
get
we that
going.
Year? We were like 4 and 6.
It was tough. I mean,
was that 93?
I think if Blackstone would have stayed and there was continuity, they'd have probably won more games.
So that's your sophomore year was Blackstone?
No, yeah. So my junior year was first year.
Junior year was first year.
Coach Reynolds,
and it was kind of like that year.
So that would have been Zach Taylor,
Travis,
Woolhams, Robbie Travis,
Ryan Smith.
Yeah. Lots of
Jared
Warrens.
That's
right. Yep.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean,
Mike Seitz.
Good class. It's just
Seitz.
like you said, it was just a transition.
It became a transition year, and if you're those seniors, you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Because,
but I think, but here's the way I look at it, and this is, how old am I now? This is 25 years removed.
Yeah. These are great conversations, though. If we're at a bar, we always promote barroom talk. If we're at a bar, we're having this conversation.
I do this shit every night. Like, you don't have to tell me. Like you mentioned Zoom earlier. Like, how good is Zoom that you can be on the call with Nick
it's
Team?
great.
Are you Zooming King?
Well, I have to for work, man.
No, King, Chris King.
I'm not sure King knows how to open a computer.
Oh, I bet he does. Don't let him fool you. If he don't, his wife does.
Where has that guy been? I'd like to see that guy.
Oh, I see King a good bit.
Yeah.
I love me some King.
I did too.
The meanest son of a bitch I've ever met in my life.
Come back here I really feel like if King, I can't remember what it was junior year. It might have been his ACL. and
a
like
punctured lung
and punctured
one year.
lung.
That was snuck in the game.
That was senior year.
Oh, that was senior year?
Yeah.
He snuck in the game.
But the last 3 years, he had some kind of energy.
But,
and
it was bad.
Let's give him a little love.
Yeah.
Let's tell the story about him sneaking in the game with a punctured lung, about how he'd been in the hospital all
Was
week.
that senior year?
I feel like it
think
was.
that was junior year.
It might have
dude.
been.
No, it was
I
his
think that's
senior.
what
It was his senior.
It was the knee, the senior year, wasn't it?
I can't
No,
remember.
it was he had pneumonia or something. What? He had ruptured appendix.
Well, no, my God, he was a mess. They life flighted him to
Yeah,
Columbus.
yeah.
And I think I was still at Capitol, so that was your junior year, I believe.
It might have been. I don't remember. Here's what I remember on that. I don't. And to your point, like,
Dude's a savage.
He wanted to play. That's right. He's a savage. He wanted to play. And I
love him.
And he went to West Liberty to play. And he's just a hard nose. Like he's
hell
an
yeah,
old school
Iron Head.
That's right.
I mean, there ain't any doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
So here's what I remember. There was
different
a play, Galplis. They come in talking trash. I think they'd burnt me as a mascot in the bonfire the night before.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they probably burnt Zach Morris. It was you thought it was
They
you.
did. Yeah, I just thought it had number 16 on. So I
It
figured
was a no doubter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had a 87-yard touchdown return,
Yeah.
touchdown pass, something else. So we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we destroyed them.
But there was one play.
Yeah.
There was one play that their tailback, and they had this sweep play that was working for them pretty good all year. And tailback was real good. I can't remember his name, but he came out around the right. I was on that side. I think I had backed up, and I was too far back, really, if you look at the film. But I saw the play.
Closed.
I saw the play from film sessions, right?
Yeah.
And just closed.
Yeah.
And I ran past you, your dad, and Chris. Chris was standing there in his Letterman jacket, black, red, black sleeves, and lit this boy up. I mean, I hammered him, rolled off, and King, punctured lung and all, was like he was punching. I feel like if he could have punched that kid, he'd have punched him for me. Like he was in there. I'm like, man. I look at it now. I'm like, he could have punctured the other lung the way he was reacting that way. So he's in it all the time, man.
I might have tried to puncture the kid's lung as well. The other kid. Yeah.
You guys all jumped up.
I used to get a little wound up.
Listen, that's the stuff I like. If I still have it on VHS our senior year. I haven't converted. I need to get it converted to digital, but I haven't. I've said many times. My wife, if she listens to this, she's going to be like, "Damn it, you say that all the time. Just do it." I haven't done it. But if I watch it, that's what I watch. I watch the sideline and I watch the reactions on that.
Yeah.
But I still have it because sometimes if my son ever gets into it, he doesn't have a competitive bone in his body just yet. He's a lover right now.
Well, dude,
like
that's
which is
We
fine.
talked about this today.
Yeah.
He'll get it because my wife's super competitive too.
She's probably more competitive than you.
She
to be honest
probably
with
is.
you.
She probably is.
Yeah.
But
Holy shit! I mean,
That's
could you
right.
guys be like
she's a
more
fitness
type
mo-
A then?
you want to.
She's a fitness model.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know what? And she looks better now after 2 kids than she did when she did the shows.
I haven't seen her
She
since.
won 2 shows, and she looks better.
Have
now.
I seen her since your wedding?
I don't know.
I don't think I have.
You too damn busy to come and see me.
Yeah. I know I haven't seen you. I'm sorry about that.
But she's we're playing board games. Like we love board games.
Okay.
She's getting pissed.
It's just competitive as hell.
Hey, we're playing Racco. You ever play Racco?
No, never heard
We're
of
not
it.
board gamers yet.
Racco. Well, you need to get on board.
I won't
son.
play.
It's been-
Since I married my wife, I won't play anymore because I mean, her family, it's no fun to play with.
Why?
They're too damn competitive. They argue about the
You
goddamn
sound like
rules.
my friggin' wife.
They,
Like what?
I
She
mean,
listen. She said to me, "This was the word she said to me." First of all, Racco is it's just cards like 1 to I'm going to say 50. I don't remember because I haven't played for so long. She won't play with me anymore.
okay, yeah.
And you just have to get them in sequence. You get them in your stack randomly, and then you have to work to get them in sequence. It doesn't matter if they're 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 1, 5, 10, whatever.
But you're clubbing up or
You gotta
suiting
get-
up.
That's right. And she had a question, and it was a questionable rule call, and so she called her dad,
Oh my God.
My wife's the same way.
and her dad sided with me.
Oh, I wouldn't have that luxury.
Well, anyway, she quit playing. She said, "I am playing with you. All you do is play to win."
Yeah. Well, see, I'll tell you, dude.
What the hell? What the hell else you play for? Like, what are you?
Yeah. I mean, why? What are we sitting here dabbling? Well, and here's the thing, man. Like,
sitting here dabbling?
Here's the thing I've noticed about myself is that my temper is not equatable to board games.
Now listen,
I get all pissed off.
Chad is a teddy bear compared to back when we knew him back years ago.
Oh yeah, I've softened.
You have,
but I'm gonna tell you something. But I'm gonna tell you something though. Like
the juices get flowing.
Playing. I don't know why, man.
Do the speeches come back out?
A guy should be able to play Monopoly with his family.
Oh, that's a cutthroat game now.
Or checkers or something. But like, shit, I'll sit there like, if I make a bad move and everybody starts laughing or whatever, I want to fight everybody in the room. And I'm burning bridges, destroying relationships. So I'm like, hey, you know what, man? I'll be the referee.
I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home.
Yeah, I'm going to take my ball and go home, and I'm just going to watch. Hey, Chad will be the guy over there drinking beer.
No, Chad,
and I'll make fun of the other people that
Chad,
lose.
you got to leave it on the field, son. You got to leave it on the field.
You know what, man?
There's no hard feelings.
Oh well, I know, but I've just turned into a bitch. As far as like, I can't do it, man. Like I try, and next thing you know, I'm being mean to my kids and my wife.
Did he ever give you the speech?
Family.
Huh? The speeches? Did you have Chad's speeches, or was that more our?
Well, I think I tried with them. I was just developing that.
So you were honing in your craft.
I tried to give the pregame.
I think he might have tried to give us cigars down in Louisville.
Well, maybe.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, do you remember that trip?
That
was an epic trip. That was
amazing.
Trip.
In fact, am I allowed to say? Is a statute of limitations passed?
Yeah, you're good, dude. Yeah. You're good.
So we were under 18. But we managed to place bets down there at the
what was it, Louisville?
Churchill Downs.
We did a passing camp down there, passing tournament.
We did a passing camp down there. Coach Snellenberger and the Louisville Cardinals at the time.
That was a lot of fun.
And we
so
went
who
down
was
there.
it?
Huh?
Who all went?
Oh God, teams from all over the place.
No, I mean from you guys.
Well, our quarterbacks and receivers 7-on-7.
Okay.
And like our center probably went.
So Travis. Tommy, gosh, I don't even remember all who went.
Travis Hughes,
Tommy,
Red.
Travis, Tommy. It seems like King was there.
Probably, yeah.
Chris Dalton was there.
Yeah,
he was the center.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hall.
Oh, my tight end. Tight end.
Yeah.
No, Rippeth was just defense at that point.
Yeah. I think Hall was there.
Kevin Wolford.
Probably yes.
There.
Yeah. Gee whiz, man, my memory gets mixed.
Remember the trip, but I can't remember.
It was a good deal.
A comment on the below to quote Gibson. Comment below. Tell us who was all there.
Yeah. Well,
I was watching his son earlier.
What did you think of that?
I mean, tell you what, he's something else.
Isn't that awful?
He's your son.
He's so good at that, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's what my kids
he's
do.
so natural.
My kids will act like they're doing a YouTube. And my daughter especially. She's 5 now, but like when she was 3 and maybe 4, she'd be like, okay, guys. Okay, guys.
You should put her on there.
Oh, my God.
Put her on there.
She's like, scribe below and tell me. That's what she says, scribe.
Put her
She says subscribe.
I like it.
Yeah,
Scribe. Now my kids are both very outgoing when it comes to that when they're messing around at home like that. But, man, we tried to put them on here, and they clam up.
They froze up.
Oh, they clam up, man.
Gibson doesn't clam.
I'm pretty sure he does not clam. And I saw him take the camera a few times, the videos you guys posted on. Yeah. Him and it was your son. He did good on that one.
Yeah, he did.
That was, did you know that boy was Brad and Jamie Burnside's his boy?
Brad. Yeah, I knew he was.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know if you.
I have him on Facebook, so keep in touch on that stuff. See, to me, like.
Watch this mess he's about to make.
No, dude, look at this burn, man. This is 2
I
shows
swept
in a row.
I swept up a bunch of ashes today.
Dude. I mean, I'm killing it right now, man. I've got to get a picture of it.
But that was Gibson and him. They're in the same class.
Yeah.
So they're big buddies, And Chad said he had basketball practice today.
Oh yeah, Abram was out there. Yeah. Travel team basketball. That's great.
Yeah, all these travel teams, man. Like, I mean, we played. Like,
we had this conversation today, man, and you know what?
Thousands of dollars.
I always look to you for advice. I always do.
Yeah,
I
as
think
you should.
I do. You was my tutor whenever I was in 8th grade. I still call you
on a lot of subjects. We won't get into that, but we.
You know the only thing I learned from Geoff Matthews to this day.
What's that? Well, I hate to. Am I walking?
Should I say
you're walking into something?
Should I even say this?
I mean, that's your podcast, brother.
Well, he's probably. Now wait a minute. Is your wife gonna watch us?
No.
She's probably heard this story. If I know better.
Okay, so hell, let's just say it because it's the truth.
Again, it's your podcast, brother.
Yeah. So
let's hear it.
You've teased it now. Are we going to break? Are we back? Are we back from break yet?
So I forget even how you said it. but you were like you were ripping my ass, I think, and you were like,
Yeah,
hey.
you're being a little jackass. Weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention. So Jeff would like hold me accountable. I'm an 8th grader. Okay,
Good.
so we're over there. Me and Mom's living in the apartments. Jeff's coming over, sitting at our dinner table.
Yeah.
A couple nights a week, and like he'd come over and
Math, wasn't it? Math, wasn't it?
Math. There was 2 subjects you tutored me in. So
What else? What was your other specialty?
Well, that's separate from this one that he's talking about.
Oh well, I figured
life in general.
This
was
is
the
a
biggest,
life.
That was the
This
biggest,
is-
there
yeah.
really
life
was, yeah.
was the
Like
biggest
he would,
tutor.
I'll say this about the guy, not to toot his ego too much, but so I'd failed or something. I was doing real bad, and just being a shit. Honestly, just being a complete shit. And I remember you called me out on it. You're a senior. I'm an 8th grader.
I think
okay?
this is the Larry Blackstone influence.
It probably
Yeah.
was.
Well, wait till you hear what it was. I don't think it was
Oh,
very
okay,
bad.
And so
Look
I
at
hate
him blushing.
to say this.
Even I didn't know a redhead could blush.
Blushing.
You
Yeah,
know
what
that?
the hell?
so Jeff was like,
what is this?
he goes, you're not paying attention, are you? And because I mean, not like during that session, like I had come home and Mom had showed him like a test. And I remember Mom like laughed or something, and Jeff was there, and he was like, you know what you're doing? He's like, don't fool me. He's like, you're not paying attention. You're not coming home doing your homework like I told you to. You're in there playing video games, probably jacking off, probably got a stack of tissues right there by your
my
bed.
God, damn.
And he was
You
like,
got real with it.
oh
real.
yeah,
I got real.
and I looked at him. I mean, he was like,
He
don't
clamped.
fool me. He's like, whenever you're my age, you're gonna sit there and joke about it.
He clammed up like I had just talked about.
You hit
I don't
him.
even
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
plague or something. And I'm like, oh, you're.
Wow.
Oh, there it went.
Fuck.
There went the.
What'd I tell you?
Now,
Now
the
put
last
that in
We
your
got him-
hand.
Listen,
Put
we
it
got
in
him
there.
all
If I was
excited talking
sleeping
about
up-
this subject, and he dropped him.
See,
They're gone.
Oh, hey, now see, that
Not even
wasn't
hot.
bad.
Yeah. So I told him. I said, hey. I know you're too young. You're not talking about it now. Just wait till you're junior, senior in high
Yeah,
school.
they just
Feel
start
more
talking
comfortable.
You'll all be
You'll feel more
talking about it.
comfortable. Yeah,
and you'll
yeah.
be.
And he
doing-
told me that.
doing
I'll
things in
never
the
forget
shower.
that. I was like, all right, Jeff, that's what all guys do then.
And I think a few years later, he said, "You know what?
I'm comfortable now.
You're right."
yeah, yeah.
So then, like, it was weird because all my buddies were like 5 years older than me. I was always running with guys
You
Jeff's
did,
age.
you started lifting weights like in
Yeah.
the 7th or 8th grade,
Yeah.
and you were in there
With those guys.
I mean,
Donovan
You
and-
were, you were in there with.
I stopped by saw Donovan today too.
Did you?
How's old Donovan
He's
doing?
great.
Now there's another man we got to get
Yep.
on this sometime.
He'd be all shy and bashful.
Oh,
So would Kevin.
No
Wouldn't
way.
they?
I don't know. Kevin would probably talk for sure. Donovan, I talked to him today. He needs to catch up on all your episodes, I think, and see what's going on.
Did he even know about
I think he did, but he said he admitted he needs to catch up on all the stuff. I think the man works pretty hard.
I do too.
He does. Yeah. He's got a
uh,
big job. He's
yeah,
doing well.
Yeah, he
Those
is.
guys have always been so Jeff's class, that whenever I was an 8th grader and the seniors, so you got Donovan, Jeff, McNerlin, King,
Yeah, that's right. Donovan was in your
and
class.
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
he?
you
He came sophomore year.
Yeah,
those
yeah.
Josh Ross even, they were all just great. I mean, and still to this day, those are my best friends. Like, I've just remained great friends with them, and it all started 7th and 8th grade, practicing for football, and you guys kind of took me under your wing, and Jeff was my tutor. So then fast forward to whenever I'm 18.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with these guys, living it up.
Well, it's not a bad group.
Oh, it's the best group on earth.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we always called it the core,
Yeah,
We always called the core, group.
Hey, listen,
I went
I-
Christmas shopping with the Core one time. One of the greatest evenings
Physical.
of my life. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God!
yeah.
Have you
I
been
don't-
on? You've been on a shopping trip, right?
I don't know if I don't
We
know. If,
always
Shallon
used-
Ray,
we used-
yeah, I don't think I've been on that.
matriculated.
Oh,
It's
God, it gets
nice.
drunk.
Yeah. It
No,
was not a lot of shopping.
I usually end up in
I'll
the
say
back
this
seat.
while we're talking about the core, right? So we talked about Center Street Crew earlier. So that was me, Chris
McNerlin
King, and McNerlin.
I tell you another guy that we've never talked about on here, but I hung out with. So you guys lived right behind me. I lived on Burlington.
Yep.
Okay. Some of the best years of my life. Me and Mom and Dad was on Burlington, and I could jump right back behind the next street behind me. So it was my grandparents on Park Street.
Okay, fine, yeah.
I'm about ready to. I'm gonna get some more
Yeah.
ice, and I'm gonna do it myself. Yeah, man.
So
this is here to drink, Chad. Don't be shy.
I was on the. I'll get you a hotel. at
My
the-
wife will buy me
at the
another
thing.
one. Don't
I'll
worry
get you a
about it.
hotel.
All right, go for
I
it.
know the people at Comfort Inn or Quality Inn. We get deals over there. So right behind was I was on Burlington, and the next street behind me was Park Street. That's where my grandma and grandpa lived.
Yeah.
And then right behind him was Center Street. So that was you, McNerlin, King, Johnny and Chris, and Josh Butts.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And,
Right across from Kings.
Yeah, right across from Kings. And I learned Josh Butts taught me how to skateboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny and Chris basically showed me how to play baseball. And then you tutored me, so it was like one big happy circle down there.
Man, listen, I remember one day the Kings got their ass beat for this. I think we
Jim,
we burned.
Did you beat their ass?
We burnt. We
That guy's awesome.
We burned. Hey, listen, Chris looks just like him now. By God,
Identical, bud.
If we burnt with gasoline a baseball diamond, wiffle ball diamond in their backyard.
I believe that 100%.
Hey, Jim,
I think Jim would get on board with that.
Jim lit. I
didn't
feel like
appreciate
Jim built them up.
No.
And Ellen couldn't be a sweeter.
Oh
human
my
being.
God, she's so
I tell you
sweet.
what, I love both of them.
Yeah.
I think.
I
think
love
they're-
Jim.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey, listen. So going back to my dad not being around when I was young, like Jim and Tommy's dad, Tom, like they both. I mean, I mean, if I left Jackson, it was with one of those families. Like there's no doubt about it.
Then
So
they took you on vacations.
Oh
and stuff?
God, yeah.
You were
Man,
close
they were
with
so
them
good to
then.
me. Absolutely, so good to me. But yeah, Center Street crew. But to the core, like I got a lot of friends in Cincinnati. A lot of friends.
I've got a lot of friends of your friends in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Greg. And,
Yeah,
those guys.
yeah, a lot of across the country now because I've been blessed to travel.
Your bachelor party was amazing.
But you can't find better people than you can find here in Jackson, right?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what we.
See, my already's a
I remember
mess,
my-
Jeff.
I remember my
Look,
first-
Just like me.
I remember my first cigar.
Yeah.
watch it.
Hadn't happened yet. But
Oh, see, he'll just
hey,
he's
you're
like,
throwing
oh, it's fine.
ashes in my ice. What
Oh.
Jesus?
Didn't realize the ice was over
See how he
there.
does that?
Let's pour up.
Hey, we can
Booker.
edit this out.
Ice just never hurt.
Let me give me some. Give me
Yeah.
some.
Boy, does
some
that
ash,
taste good after the.
Give me some ash. Give me some ash.
I remember, but
And that cigar
So
actually
go-
really enhances the flavor.
I can't do it, man. I'll vomit on your table. I'm not.
so going back though. So you talked about. So you're a dad just like the rest of us. That's one reason why I wanted to get you on here because
I'm a failing dad at times, but yeah, I'm a dad.
We all are.
So you got two.
I got a boy that's 8 and a little girl Lily that's 5. Mason is.
God, I thought she was 3. What am I thinking, man?
No, I'm older than that, dude.
So you
I
had
didn't
your
start till I was 35 though. So
but you had your last one at 38.
that's right.
So
No.
I'm
Yes,
39.
you're right.
Trying.
I
for
had my
second.
first one at 38.
You're just practicing now. Does Minnie
Trying,
know this?
man.
Does
Man,
Minnie, does Minnie know?
Practice is the best part.
Does Minnie know?
Yeah, she knows.
You know what?
Does
Practice.
she know?
Practice is the best part. You know what though? I'm so potent. It took like
Me too.
one-
I had the same problem. My
See, I-
wife,
yeah, I
we're
can-
pregnant. Like
yeah.
if
We're not calling you out, Jason. But
Yeah.
you might want to go to the doctor. Make sure it's okay.
you're getting up there in age, buddy.
Well, shit, it does go backfire on me. Yeah,
I
you
went-
tutored me still. My God, here I am, 39 years old. You
Shit,
still
dude,
tutored me.
I went 38 years thinking that, hey man, I
Shooting blanks.
I just don't have the magic seed. I don't.
Did you talk to your dad about that?
No.
Hey, hey, Dad.
Yeah. I never did. And just just really didn't worry about it. I was like, man, boy, I'd love to, And then when we started talking about it, I was like,
And now you got.
babe, I don't know if we can. I mean, I'll do my best.
And now
but,
look at
like
you.
I don't know if I can do it. It was like, okay, let's try. Okay, bang,
Now look at you.
immediately.
Yeah. Hey, man, nothing more rewarding and nothing more challenging on a planet, right?
Yeah.
So
You want to be humbled? Be a dad. Dude.
yeah,
I mean,
and I'm
on
fortunate.
a daily basis.
I'm fortunate that I have a wife that will challenge me in that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm very old school. Like I feel like some of my missteps in life, and I've been blessed not to have too many, but if I had someone there to kick me in the rear,
yeah.
So I'm pretty hard on them sometimes, but I also
I was wondering how you was as a dad, like how you thought you.
Well,
was
I'm a
as
big
dad.
softy too. Don't get me wrong, but here's my deal. So I travel for work, right? 2-3 days a week,
yeah.
and so if I come
Just
home,
like you.
yeah. So if I come home,
That is good.
like I want, yeah, that's some good stuff.
Oh, that's no joke.
I want to correct it. I'm like, you can't be acting this way with my wife when I'm gone.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say that to my kids. Like I'll say, you don't talk to my wife that way, right?
Yeah.
Because they need to understand that that's the relationship that matters first. And we're big in our church, so God's the relationship that matters first to us.
Yeah.
Did you go to church? You didn't go to church
yeah.
when you was a kid, did you?
Oh God, Grandma, she was
Oh, I bet you did. Every Sunday.
Southern
then.
Baptist, man.
Did you?
Now that turned me off. From
I didn't know
church
that.
at the Emmanuel Baptist.
Where's that at?
It's out there behind
It's out
that BP and the Holzer. It's just across the street from Holzer, basically.
Not there anymore.
It is there.
It is.
Is
there.
it?
Yeah. It used to be. It used to be. Was it on Chestnut or something over by near where Andy Warner lived?
Andy Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah, talked about him on the last one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And
Good
then they
kid.
moved.
Good kid.
They moved. They built that new building
Built the
out
church
there. I
out
mean,
there.
I remember when I was in high school. You remember the Highway?
Oh yeah.
That's where our meetings were. We're at the Emmanuel Baptist Church.
So it was very like the congregation was older, and if I missed a weekend for whatever reason because I was
wanted to know why.
dumb and lazy, like it was badgered, like they were on me. We go to a non-denominational church in Cincinnati, Vineyard. It's phenomenal. Like we love it. Like it's
So like
we
a
connected to it.
what would that be like? Like a
Nothing
Elevate
here.
or something, maybe.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
what it is here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just non-denominational. That's
Yeah,
all.
but a preacher from the Bible, right? So that's our first relationship.
So
it's big, and the kids know that. Like that's number one, and number two is a relationship with me and their mom. Like hey, you don't talk to my wife that way.
Yeah, I like that take.
and
Maybe
I
I should
Yeah, I
start
like it.
that
Yeah, I
take.
like it.
Yeah.
See, all this damn Zach Morris, I'm telling you, God, he comes with the truth.
Well, I'm
if you
telling
talk
you,
to
man,
me, if you
because-
talk to me a little bit more, I could.
You know what? I am sorry. I'm just kidding. You know how life
I'm
goes.
playing. Let me say this because this is
I
something.
like that take though.
Yeah, I do too. I love that
I
take.
mean,
Yes. So listen, like I said, I've been hitting the head a lot. If I don't say this, I'll forget it. We'll come back to that. I wanted to say this. This is one thing that, like, driving down here, like, I'm proud of you guys. Like, this stuff is, I know, right? Like,
Yeah.
who am I? Like, it doesn't mean anything for me to be proud of you.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
But
does.
to me,
Yeah,
like,
sure it
I'm
does,
proud of you
dude.
guys. Like,
Yeah.
this stuff, like quarantine, right? You guys are doing a lot for this community. Like, like keeping them in touch with some of the decision makers, some of the stuff, and
Just through our friendships,
losing
relationships.
weight that you've already put back on. I think it. I mean, I'm just guessing.
225 this morning.
You know how much I weigh? How much you think I weigh?
240.
250.
Are you 250?
I'm 250.
But God, Jesus, do you have a six pack?
I got a 2-pack. I think
A 2-pack.
something like that.
Well,
No,
let me
but
tell you
listen.
something. He's not lard ass.
No,
Yeah.
I noticed that earlier.
Yes.
God, he's doing shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid, but that's my wife. She's the one. But honestly, like I'm proud of you guys. Like
thank
it's
you.
not
Thank
just
you, man.
it's not just your 9 to
That's-
5s, right?
w-
It's
hey,
this
I'll
other
tell you.
stuff. Like it's a big deal what you're doing.
Well, you saying that means more than
Then you
than a lot of
understand,
it.
man. Yeah, because Chad and I, we not that their struggles. Hell, this is I really truly look forward to this.
You get to sit down and talk to a bunch
We
of people
look-
nonstop. Like, come
and
on,
we
the
lo-
two
and we
of you
love it.
that's
I mean,
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
we love it.
You're
Yeah.
built for this.
But I mean, I'll tell you what, man. You saying that's very meaningful.
We had a
And
trying
I don't
time here
think
about
it's
a month
lost.
ago where we didn't really know what we were doing, and it was like, guys, this is getting, to kind of be a hassle, and like, what are we really doing? And then we just had to just kind of take a deep breath and be like, well, we're having fun. Let's because
We've
it's just
got
like
regular
anything.
Well,
grinds.
here's
Yeah.
let me give you some advice, right? Take it for a grain of salt. I think you're phenomenal at it, right? I think you're both phenomenal. Mindy was here earlier when you were doing the filming of.
Yep.
I think you both got phenomenal people,
She's on board.
people behind you supporting
Yep.
you, right?
Let's
Both
on
your
board.
wives.
Absolutely.
And that's number one, right? That, like I just said, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, relationship with God's number one, relationship with your spouse is number two.
Yeah.
So if you got that stuff right, and you can continue to do this stuff where you're doing a good job, I think it's amazing. Like
I love it.
and,
I have a great
and,
time.
and like I joked, like I don't know anybody's going to listen to this one, but I was when you asked me, I was like, hell yeah,
Hey,
come on down.
dude, we don't know whether anybody is ever going to listen to it, but we're going to keep doing it.
That's right,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
Hey, listen, I'll listen. We'll have Jeff. You spell with a J. Well, we can educate you on something like that. But we'll have him turn that screen around. I'll turn it on a Zoom if I have to. I'm in South Carolina. I don't care.
But we've talked about doing the Zoom stuff, and honestly, we just want to keep it. Not that we wanted you to drive here. I know that you drove here.
You guys pay mileage, right?
Yeah, we'll pay
that
mileage.
for it.
But
that check will be in the mail, bro.
but like even do you listen to Rogan?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to catch up on.
Well, you got
You got plenty of time.
Yeah,
man.
you
He's
got
not throwing out more than
thousands
1 or
and
2
thousands to
episodes a
listen
week.
to.
he's got what 1,600
God,
to
yeah,
listen to.
yeah.
One of my good buddies, good God-fearing man around New Orleans, Joe Gaudier. he had called that out as one of the podcasts that's real good. So,
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's
I think it's not everybody's like, Pudge, are you trying to be Joe Rogan? No, I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan, but I honestly I really enjoy it. Like I go back and listen. Like he's got everybody on there.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, yeah, of course. Like we're not trying to be Joe Rogan. Do we imitate Joe Rogan? I don't know. Maybe. I don't apologize.
I like what he does. I love what he does.
I don't apologize because here's the thing. Like,
I love the guy and what he does.
Okay, when you see somebody that does something great, I mean, do you try to imitate that or do your own thing?
Well, that's why I said he's looking up to me. I'm like, you need to look higher, brother. You need to look Joe Rogan. Like,
but the thing I like about Joe Rogan, he's just talking about relevant stuff to me right now. I enjoy what he does. Like I really do.
Well, I think that if people want to accuse us of imitating Joe Rogan, I say, well, yeah, absolutely, because what we're doing is having conversations with interesting people
on our level.
And so maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't. But my God,
that's where we're going.
What's wrong with this?
Yeah.
We're sitting here drinking bourbon, talking to people we love.
We're drinking Bookers, having a nice.
Yeah.
You're the only one that we've done, honestly, that when it's not out now, but you're the only one that we've done with the sun still out.
Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone now.
Well, that's probably my fault too, though.
No. Well, we knew you.
Well, no, it's my fault. I was late.
No,
Sorry.
but I'm saying Jeff wanted to speed. He wanted to do it earlier in the day.
Oh yeah.
Well, I figured if I golfed early,
and you golfed today.
I did. Golfed on Franklin Valley, man. Hey,
how'd you play?
Not bad, but listen, that was only the 5th time I played this year. I played in Grand Cayman. That was our President's Club trip. I played in Cincinnati twice.
So that's your sales trip.
Humble brag.
Do I have that shirt on? Did I get this shirt? I don't know. Actually, speaking of shirts.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to show them that one before it's all said and done.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
The wife made a Chubby Bartenders shirt.
Coming soon.
And she made us stickers.
Yeah. Made stickers put on your
coming soon to a website near you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
ChubbyBartenders.com.
I've been asking for a red stockroom sweatshirt for like 6
We're going to
months.
go whenever we're done.
Have you seen this? Have you seen the new fire takes that they've got over there as far as their merch?
Hey,
dude,
listen,
I've been begging of Jeff in there.
I've even said I buy, like, I'll send you money, bro.
We're going to go over when we're done.
Listen, it's
you wouldn't let me take. I was going to take you over there today and have a drink. And you was like, no, you're not. I'm gonna.
No, I want to eat. I've been looking at this food pictures online. Damn it, it looks good.
Their new shirts. That 3/4 length sleeve shirt you guys got.
Is that the one you were modeling?
They make them in medium. They make them in.
Are you wearing a medium?
It's medium
At $250.
I haven't worn a medium since like 7th grade.
You can't fit in a medium, dude.
I'm an XL, but I fill it out a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
we're going whenever we get done. We're going over there.
They got some nice ones.
Jeff, you got your key.
You got the.
Well, I'm going too. God damn it.
So you talked about. I remember you said something about, and I do remember this because, like, I think I have a picture of you somewhere, and you're wearing the Dare shirt and the white jeans.
No, that's Pride. That's Pride.
Pride. That was Pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the blue shirt.
That was the graduation step from Dare. No, listen. So
tell us about that. So if you're so here you are, a young dad, and we'll talk more about being about that here in a minute. But but you're saying. So are you saying that you're like social club back in the 90s, not like social network club, not like social?
We didn't have social media.
We didn't have social media.
Thank God.
Oh man,
I'll tell you.
I wouldn't be able to run for office.
I think it makes it very tough on the kids growing up.
I do too. I do too. Don't
like
you
it's unreal.
Nick said it on here last week. He said, "Dude, if you're waking up and looking at Facebook, then delete it."
Yeah.
And I'm not real sure that he's not right.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is
here we are trying to social media.
It all depends on what you look at it for.
Yeah.
It all depends on what you look at it for, right?
Right.
So how do you do it? You're not on there a ton, but you're on there some.
Yeah. So I approach it as a way to keep friends who. Take, for example, you, right? Mm-hmm. You're busy as hell. You guys are like, it's not like we can talk on the phone all the time. And I'll
think I'm an idiot.
You are an idiot. But it's like I am as slow as we can come back to that if you want.
Yeah.
But it's
well, you saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm being an idiot right now?
Right now?
No, like like before. You saw it. You had to see that. Like whenever the boys were in here, and I just was in complete chaos mode. Do you think I'm an idiot right now?
No, I don't. I mean, listen,
because you haven't been around me in a minute.
You guys are built for like this.
It's a great teamwork.
That's right.
It's the best team I've ever been on.
Mindy's here, right? So if Mindy's part of it, she's on board with it, right?
Yeah.
If she's telling you, if she's bitching at you at home, then you need to stop it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's point blank.
Yeah.
Right? But if she's on board and you guys are doing right at home, then I feel like you guys are doing an awesome service for the community and for the businesses that advertise with you, things like that. But family's first, right?
Yep.
But
so that's your motto. That's where you're at right now at 43 years old. You're
44,
family first.
44.
44.
Well,
you just had a birthday.
Look at all this gray in here.
When's your birthday?
October.
Yeah, I would say you just had a birthday.
Shit, he's not that much younger than me.
4 years, you old man.
Yeah,
Listen, I don't even know what we were talking about now. You done threw me offline.
Yeah, so you'd been in high school 4 years whenever you were down there with him.
Yeah.
Well, so
I was in school when that first happened. I was and I
You're in
transferred.
college.
I transferred back to Rio Grande to coach.
yeah.
Just to coach football.
Yeah.
With Jeff.
Well, how could he pass up coaching?
Well,
folks like me and Workman and King.
Like
come on,
the first
Wackler,
year,
the Rat
How
Pack.
about Wackler?
Listen to this.
Hey, we have never mentioned his name.
Let's talk about Wackler because what? I actually thought about that, and he is doing great now.
Hey, I'm so proud of that guy, man.
This is hands down an honest statement. Jamin Wackler is the best athlete I've ever been on the field.
Oh my, that'd be hard.
Even in college.
Even in college, Jamin Wackler could have been a Chase Young.
Oh yeah,
athlete.
he was a D1.
Was he that good?
Oh,
Dude, when he
unblockable.
I remember. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I remember Warren Local or no.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
not
to be
Warren
talking
Local.
about this.
River Valley.
Yeah.
River Valley. There was a 3-play stretch because they punted, and he damn near blocked that. I think.
Yeah.
Where, I don't even think the lineman knew where the hell Jay was, and I just about dropped another F-bomb.
Yeah,
right
and he
there,
was
but
lined right across
from him. That dude was so quick. There's zero doubt in my mind if the coaches at Ohio State or somewhere like that could have got a hold of him. He's a Michigan fan. God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been a monster.
Yeah, dude.
He was 6'5", and he was probably 250 at that time.
Oh yeah,
And
245. I think his senior stats were.
so natural.
I think his senior stats were 6'4", 245.
Well, let me tell you something. It was he was very natural with it. Now he worked there before his senior year. He got in the weight room, got after.
But other than that, he
But
really
this is
wasn't a guy
with natural talent.
Dude,
I
bet if he
I would
could
argue,
freak-
and this is no disrespect to him, I believe he would agree with me. He didn't give a flip about football other than when he showed up and went and he played for the team.
I think
he
so.
Played hard.
I think so,
and he was good.
Yeah.
and I mean he was. I'm telling you what, that guy.
He was so quick, man. I swear to you, he would have been a Chase Young type.
People often forget. But I would say probably one of the best pure football talents we've had in this town. Ever.
Didn't he have a ride to?
I don't know, because I don't like.
I think he could have gone. I think he could have gone.
Weren't.
I think he could have gone wherever he wanted to if he would have really wanted to do that. And I'll yield that to him. But I'm just saying.
I bet you he'd come on. I bet you he'd come
I'd
on.
like to talk to Jay.
From a pure football standpoint.
I'd like to talk to Jay.
There's no question.
And it's hands down. It's not a question in my mind. He's the best football player I played with in any level.
Well, I know this.
Tell you a great
if you're
story?
talking about I remember the West Virginia coaching staff at that time was highly interested in him, and hey, what can we do to make this happen? Dude, they were all in. They were like, well, what
does he need?
He was, that dude.
Because
was so
back
quick.
then you were dealing with a different style of kid. Now, there was no technology, anything behind
my
it.
God.
You were getting back behind the scenes in the
that's
rare
what
bones.
That's what we were talking about. Guys, I think all of us, in high school, we didn't have cell phones, man.
No, there was no contact.
I didn't
there
have
was
that.
Yeah.
I think my senior years. I think my senior year is when the bag phone for the car came out, right?
Oh yeah,
my dad had a bag phone.
I've talked to several people on the show, and we make fun of it. Man, when I was in college, the internet was not a thing, dude.
No, it was my junior year when we got email. I think.
Yeah. Like when I was in college, there was no internet, man. If you were playing a game on the computer, it was like the Oregon Trail or something, you know? I mean,
Spy Hunter, Pitfall.
Hangman.
Yeah, I mean, you had your Nintendos and shit like that, but like there was no...
Yeah.
Like, man, there was none of this stuff. My God, thank God is all I can say. Like, if people would have been tracking me when I was in college, if I was putting that stuff online, or if somebody else
we wouldn't be able to run for office now if we wanted to, right?
Shit, I don't want to.
I'll tell you a great story.
But yeah, you're right, dude. I mean,
I'll tell
so many
you
people get butthurt about any comment. You would have been gone, I think.
I gotta pee. I've never peed on an episode.
Squirrel bladder punch.
What do we do? We just pause here then.
You know, we just talk. We keep talking.
Well, if you're going to edit it out, I'll just wait for you.
He's not. No, we won't.
All right. So we were in, I think, Circleville.
Okay.
And this was when Meacham was a DN.
Oh, yeah, man. He was only a couple years behind me.
And Britt Rippeth.
Britt Rippeth was the other DN. He was my age.
Okay.
Britt Rippeth and I were in the same class.
If I remember correct, did Meacham start with Rippeth?
Yes, my senior year.
Okay, so it must have been your senior year. I had traveled with the team as like a helper or whatever.
Yeah.
And Eric Davis. You remember Eric Davis?
Yes.
Eric,
little running back.
Eric Davis is another. He's another one that was a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And he played on the varsity his freshman year.
Yes.
With Blackstone.
Yes.
So we were. I remember this same kind of story that he just said.
Yeah.
Like Meacham, it was a weather delay.
Oh.
And Meacham was.
Oh, you're fine.
He was.
You know what? This is the year after I graduated because I had come down from Capitol.
He was amped up, like
to watch that game. I came down because we drove, but me and Wiley and some of us came down to watch that.
So he was. He were off. He had those big. Remember these old school big black gloves.
Oh yeah, dude, that was what we all did.
He was so amped up, ready to go. And me and Eric were sitting beside each other. Mm-hmm. And Eric was another natural athlete, like Jay.
Yeah.
And he just out of nowhere, he stopped in front of me and Eric, and he's like, I don't even remember what he said. I really don't even remember what he said. But all of a sudden, he yelled something at Eric, looking him right in the eye, and then just hauled off and did an uppercut into Eric's stomach.
Wow.
And he was just fired up.
Meacham was a savage.
He was a savage.
Yeah.
So mean. And Eric was like, it took his breath away.
Yeah, he probably was.
And all I remember thinking, thank God he punched him and not me.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that guy. To tell you a story about Rob Meacham, and God bless him, Rob, if you're out there, reach out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in forever, but I'll never forget. I think we were playing Marietta at home, and he had sacked the quarterback, got a penalty of some kind.
Wasn't he 6'6"?
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah,
huge. Got a penalty of some kind, and then got upset with the referee and pushed the referee.
I think Pudge just tripped.
Pushed the referee.
Oh God!
And got a
just like the guy in Texas just now.
Yeah. And I'm all for it, man. I mean,
wait, hold on. You're all for pushing the referee?
Well, not anymore. I mean, I'm not coaching now.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I am now. And one of my favorite stories about Blackstone, I'm going to tell it right now due to that. And this is always something that I carried with me is I'll never forget this. It was our sophomore year. Britt Rippeth. You know Britt.
Yeah.
I for some reason was not playing in the JV game, and Britt was, but I was up on the press box, and this is early on sophomore year because later on all of us were playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were playing Athens.
Yeah.
Britt lines up on defense. Not even the first play took off. He jumps across the line of scrimmage and punches the guy in the head, and they throw him out. Yeah. So he's coming down there, and Blackstone's take on the whole thing was he goes, a lot of coaches would be really upset with you for this.
Yeah.
I feel like hugging you. And he runs it back 3 or 4 times on the film, hey. this guy has had enough
Yeah.
of losing. I mean,
He twisted it.
He is ready to fight and play.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, from that moment on, Brett Rippeth started.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, our class, we're not a famous class, but I'll tell you what, man, we won the first league championship in 10 years. Because, like, our class, oh, yes,
moving on to the
please.
Swishers.
Oh, no, the black and mild, beautiful.
Whatever. I'm clearly uneducated in that.
But like, it was just like, man. And Blackstone was about, when he got here, dude, we were so far down on the mat. Like, he was like, hey, man, we got to get strong. And we've got to fight. Yeah. And he wanted to see people. Yeah. Cheers. He wanted to see people. Hey, man, let's start fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, because he knew we had no prayer.
I was going to say that earlier.
There was not going to be any fighting.
When we were talking about the transition.
Yeah.
Right. I think one of the biggest things that, and he knew it, that Coach Blackstone did was fight for that weight room. Right.
Oh yeah.
It used to be in that little damn closet.
In the gym?
In the gym, off the basketball court, right?
Yeah, which is like a supply closet.
Yeah, so he fought for that, and I think that was huge from and he did the same thing with Wilson.
Well, and that's what I mean. Like, if you ask, like that, I guess that's what I was getting at. Like, if you ask my father,
what father,
I am your father. He would. The first thing he would tell you is, like, he had the benefit of stepping out of football for 5-10 years, watching my team play and the plight of where we were going, and seeing that turn. All he wanted to do was continue that.
He did a great job.
And things like that. And
I don't know about you guys, but I got a white jacket, so he did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. Listen. Now he's my dad.
When they opened up to like 10 playoff teams every day.
Well, don't you worry about it.
Well,
we just still made it if it was taken.
we made it. We made it when it was still 4. Yeah. I mean, we did.
Yeah.
And we only advanced as far as they've ever advanced now.
You see how I get that little jab in there, Jeff?
Jeff's,
he's asleep.
He's playing.
We've really
playing Bejeweled.
Really, to this point now, I don't know that we've ever advanced further than that. Considering
that takes me to my next subject.
Well, hold on. Can I bring up something real quick?
Yep.
Are you going to forget what you're bringing up? Because I will.
Remind me, kids, sports.
All right. So, just talking about Blackstone, talking about the father figures and stuff like that, like, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Dave Humphreys, because you had Jared on, right? So, and Jared mentioned, because I watched that episode, and he outshined you in that episode, by the way. I'm just saying.
Wow. See, I mean, this man he is not afraid to be a critic.
I did drop an F-bomb while you were away, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Edit that
Thank God, Zach.
It just came out.
Yeah.
I blame
Did
my
Mr.
wife.
Belvedere tell you could or what?
I blame my wife. Listen, Jeff will edit that out.
Yeah.
So they grew up just at the end of the street there from Center Street. Or I'm sorry, when I was growing up, they were at the end of the street. Now that they had moved after that. But Dave, so I wrestled.
I didn't know you were a wrestler.
Man, I was probably
I know your brother was.
If I had, and you know what my brother wrestled? And
were you a good wrestler?
Okay, I'll get to that, and I'll let Dave. You know what? Have you had Dave on?
Me off.
Have you had Dave on?
No, we need to have Dave on.
I told Dave the other day. He called me after
if you have Dave on, like, I want to sit over there and watch the entire episode. I don't want to watch it online. I want to sit over there and watch it.
All right.
As long as you're fine having someone cackle in the background.
Absolutely.
So Dave got me wrestling, and you know why? I had me a nice mullet working. Back
Did you?
then.
I remember that. I remember that in junior high. I remember that.
I don't
better remember that.
Yeah, I
and if
remember
you don't, I shame on you. It was phenomenal.
I remember that. Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to cut my hair. And in fact, Tommy brought up Coach Pat Stevens today, 7th grade.
He's been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it was either him.
Now the AD at Jackson.
Yeah.
You played for Coach Pat
I
Stevens?
did not. You know why?
Okay.
Because it was either him or somebody else that said I had to cut my hair. to play basketball. I mean, you're gonna tell me what to do.
Sorry, now I'm gonna wrestle.
I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna wrestle.
What's Ross say?
Yeah.
Friend. Dave was like, I don't care if you cut your hair, And no, I was a pretty good wrestler. And Lehue.
Yeah,
John Lehue.
Another name. What a character. I love John Lehue too. Like,
where is he?
Let me backtrack. I don't know where he's at, but 7th grade football, undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
We were in Athens. Ran a score up like, I don't know. 40.
He was a run up the score guy.
But I don't even think it was that. Like, we were just better.
That much better. Yeah.
Well, you had been against Kaheem Maxwell.
I gave that boy snot bubbles. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. We beat them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I didn't play Joe Burrow. I didn't play Joe Burrow, thank God. But we didn't beat them.
How about Joe Burrow though, real quick?
I'm glad. Listen, that's what I'm saying.
Same with the guy from Logan. Who was that real good?
Justin Gale.
Congrove.
No,
Cosgrove. Well, and
you know what though?
Dylan Evans.
I outrun that son bitch.
Yeah, I know.
60-yard touchdown.
I know.
Did you?
I know.
Yeah, I did.
Dude.
I love how modest you are.
Hey, no, listen. No, he was here when all this.
That's because that was 25 years ago.
Yeah. Hey, when it started, dude, it started.
Yeah.
I mean,
We lost that game, though, by the way.
I remember you guys giving it to Kaheem.
Anyway, so I think he had like negative yards in that game, and most of that reason, I hit him on the out after he gained like 8 yards.
Hurt him.
I knocked. He was out, but Jay Wackler was a big reason of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the backfield before the guy got the ball.
they couldn't. It completely disrupted their offense.
I mean,
Goes to OU as a true freshman starter, Kaheem.
Yeah. I mean, he was an athlete. Don't get me wrong.
Great player.
Yeah.
Great player.
But-
I mean, listen. Yeah.
But
no disrespect.
overall, like holistically,
Not against us.
And
They
you're
were
in high
not-
school.
we won. We won by more than 30 points.
Yeah,
it would have been 37. Travis Hughes wouldn't drop a touchdown ball that hit him in the face mask, but we won't talk about that right now, Travis.
Yeah.
How far are we into this bourbon? Anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we got to call men out. I mean, Travis will have his chance on the mic.
Oh, he better. He better. I mean, listen.
He's been sending me songs at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm only dropping bombs so people come on this show.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear the responses, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Dave Humphreys, right?
They're going to roast you. I hope to God they roast
I love it.
you.
I love it.
I know you do.
Because I'll be back on to rebuttal.
You'll come face
Well, that's if I
won't
get
you?
more than 10 views, you'll have me back on, right?
Yeah.
But
You
Dave
gotta get at
Humphreys,
least 200
Dave
views.
Humphreys was another good father figure, and I think him and Lehue would have.
What about Jim?
Jim.
What about Jim Humphreys?
I didn't play football until I was in 7th grade.
This goes back. I'm going to pause. Pause your story.
Well, now I done forgot my story, so.
That's what I do.
Well, no, I'm going to bring it back up because I want to give Dave a shout out.
Yeah, I want to give Dave a shout out. But we talked about. So you're a young dad, okay?
I like I appreciate the compliment, but
but I'm saying you're a dad of a young son.
Yes,
We're all
that makes better sense.
You know what? And it's kind of different because the three of us sitting here, like, we're kind of old dads to young sons.
That's why I'm married 8 years younger.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
you think sports should go on right now?
Yeah,
for that age.
Yeah. So we coached. My wife was the head coach of our son's baseball team this past fall, and I was the assistant. And biggest reason for that,
I'm not talking about the fall. I'm talking about right now during COVID.
Yeah,
not the fall during COVID.
There was still COVID.
I know, but it's a different time.
I'm talking 2 months ago.
But I'm talking right now. You're seeing like an abundance of COVID cases.
Hey, listen. To me, it's all in the parents.
Man,
like, you got to be smart. Here's the thing. Like, my daughter, who's 5, she doesn't know any different.
No, I'm not saying that.
And at sports,
be my tutor right now.
I'm being your tutor. It's all about you and what you do with your son. Like, he can play baseball in this world and still be safe. Like, look,
I don't agree. I don't disagree with that.
In my opinion, COVID is like when the flu was really kind of being a big thing, right?
Right.
And we live with the flu today. I know that it reacts to different people, right? Like my mom, she's in a nursing home. They had
Your mom is?
My mom's in a nursing home as of 2 years ago.
She's been in a nursing home for 2 years.
Up there next to me in Cincinnati. medication wise, like she needs someone to monitor that stuff. She can move to an assisted living when the time is right and that kind of stuff. But that's right for her. She's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's right for her. Otherwise, I feel like if I didn't do that 2 years ago, she'd be dead right now. So for that, what do I want to say? Demographic.
That's word.
It's very deadly. But for you and me,
no, I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying like, look past that. So, I'll say it. So I made the decision, or my wife made the decision. Both of us,
because that's who makes the decisions in the marriage.
Yeah, but both of us made the decision.
Guess who's gonna pee now?
She did. She did.
But so I have a stepdad that's on COPD and has and he's on oxygen, and my wife is a teacher. Mm-hmm. I'm involved in several different business elements of it.
Enough that you don't talk to me regularly.
But we opted to sit out till after the first of the year because of the exposure for us. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
I'm not.
But that's a perfect point, though, because it is by situation.
It's by situation, yeah.
And I
almost felt like I didn't because I'm older and I'm starting to mature a little bit.
I just to interrupt you, Chad's like, I don't know if he's passing a kidney stone down there or what, but he's yelling while he's peeing.
He was moaning while he was peeing.
Jesus.
Did you hear that, Jeff?
I think he just finished.
But we made the decision in our household to hold off until after the first of the year. And I'm not saying that we're right. I'm just saying that like I canceled dueling pianos. You probably saw I had dueling pianos. I canceled that
because I pay attention to stuff.
You do. I know you do. And we made this.
Get a sweatshirt, but whatever.
I told you after this we're going over and we're going to get you a sweatshirt. It was tough, and then so you see things like you see him playing, and like every bit of you is like, yeah, man, like I probably should have played, but like they got this situation. But like I'm just saying, like it is situational. Like I don't mean it
100%. And like what's right for us, and we don't have any family in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, you don't.
So
yeah, you're not living in your hometown, so like that's a little bit different.
That's right. So you asked a question earlier about like a Cincinnati home, or maybe Chad did. And like we'd move tomorrow if the right situation arose.
Oh yeah.
Like if my work that I love said, "Hey, we need you in Charlotte,"
you'd go.
We'd move to Charlotte, and we'd make it happen. But I think that it's absolutely situational in that, like if we had, like my wife's dad, for example, Jerry, saint on earth, she loves him, great relationship. If he had one of those situations, we wouldn't be doing that. In fact, we might be doing remote learning versus being there every day, because it is situational, because it's all about, like, my mom's in a nursing home. Mm-hmm. If we were able to be around her every day, we probably would make different decisions, but we can't be because they locked it down. Right?
For right now, so we had our first Pee-wee or Biddy League basketball practice last week.
Yeah.
And my wife was there, and I was there. My wife was an exceptional athlete, probably she's actually
way better than you,
way better than me. And honestly, she's honorable mention all state. Shortstop.
I remember seeing stuff.
Like Mindy's legit.
I stay in touch.
Yeah, Mindy's legit. She's Mindy was a hell of a softball player.
What we're alluding to here, Mindy, as you re-listen to this podcast, sponsored by yada 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 yada. Is that you're a way better athlete than Jason ever was.
She probably she really was on paper. She really was.
Not just paper, on the field too.
On the field. Anyway. But so I mean, both of us are very. I mean, you saw it here earlier, and like, you know what, man? I'll give you this. Take the tutor situation, and here we are 25 years later, and I felt bad because you walked up the stairs earlier, and I was doing my thing, and I was just
brother, listen,
and I was like, God damn it! I was like, Jeff is going to think that I'm a complete goof,
dude. But I understand,
but you understand. But what I'm saying is, like, so my wife and I are both very competitive people, and we want our son to be very competitive. To an extent.
He'll do his own thing.
He'll do his exactly.
I don't think you can force that.
You can't, because we've tried.
I know, man. I've tried, but so we just made the decision. Like, I went to the first practice last week, and like,
4.
They're 7.
What are they doing? Right?
Basketball.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the so you had game on, which was
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't. But you guys will understand. I mean, hell, let's talk about it. I mean,
well, game on's not very competitive. It's just have fun, learn.
well,
the game.
it's hey, let's get your kid out of the house.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's what we
a
put our
good
kid
thing.
in.
Yeah,
Like, we've got a court outside of our house. We had them draw the lines on the driveway and put it. But
Isn't it weird though? Like,
that's more for me and my wife than it is for our kids.
but what I'm saying is, isn't it weird? Like, and I'm not like calling anybody out. I'm just saying, like, isn't it weird? Like, you and I grew up and I was in 8th grade, or let's go back. I was 5 and you guys were 10. And I was down at Center Street, and Southview was there, so we were playing basketball at South Street School.
Yeah,
that's where you learned.
it was rough.
It was rough, and now you have to go to like interleague and.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, it's different.
Different.
People aren't learning, and I think in my text,
you know what I mean. Like,
that's what I was trying to tell you. Like,
yeah.
The difference now is I don't think that people are learning in their backyards and their driveways like we did.
That's a great point. I don't think they're learning in their backyards.
Hey, listen, I really feel like a lot of kids nowadays learn the concepts and, like, let's call it coverage and plays and strategic aspects of each sport via video games. Because you can play that crap.
I hadn't thought about that, but
you can play that
right.
crap easier
or
or earlier than the real thing. And, like, I remember having a conversation with kids, that were 3-year-old and talking about why you punt, like why you do this before I had kids, why you do this and that.
Sure.
That stuff we didn't have, because you know what we had? You turn the dial and try to block the ball to knock blocks off of the Atari, like you know what I mean?
So you had that, yeah. Like with me, man. I mean, we didn't have any of that.
Hey guys, Tyler here. I hate to interrupt, but just wanted to give you a quick update. Unfortunately, we actually lost audio after this point, so we're extremely sorry for that. If you have any complaints, make sure you blame Pudge for this, and just to let you guys know, I am officially back.